What's up, AtoZSports Live on a Thursday. Today might be a doozy. A lot of stuff happened yesterday for a Wednesday. Normally Wednesdays are kind of chill, but nope. Sports World said, hold my beer, watch this. Cam Ward doubles down on his contradictory take after the Titans beat the Browns on Sunday. And then once we thought the college football coaching carousel had stopped or paused for the moment, Michigan decided to wind it back up, and Sherrone Moore out with a lot of controversy, a scandal, as Michigan has been used to doing over the last several years. So we'll discuss Chiron Moore, all of that wild story that I don't think many of us were expecting, but some people were, actually. So we'll discuss maybe what our guy Ryan Roberts knew might be coming down the pike with that Chiron Moore news. And then how does that affect the Titans? Because the Titans have a coaching search that is on the horizon. And I believe there is one potential Titans candidate who is a really strong candidate for Michigan football. So we'll discuss all of that. And then Jeremy Fowler had some other news as well on the Titans search front. Easton, what's up? Welcome in. We will also get our sports trivia on here on the show. Man, what a wild day yesterday, last evening. A lot of allegations and things and rumors and stuff when it comes to Chiron Moore and Michigan situation. But the Easton, what's up? Let's get it going.
What up, what up? Hope everyone's having a great start to their Thursday morning. Good to be with you, Austin. Good to be with all of you in the comments. Before we get rolling on today's show, you know the drill. Need you to like the show on Facebook and on YouTube. A startlingly low number of likes so far this morning. It's early, I understand it. We're just a little groggy, it seems. Let's snap into shape here. Let's wake up. Let's hit that like button on Facebook and on YouTube, and then jump into the comments. Want to hear your thoughts alongside. Hello, ladies, and Jeff, and Curtis, and Corey, Diane, Steven, Sean, Jack. Good morning to all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the chat. Join them. Be a part of today's conversation. Whole lot to talk about. Looking forward to doing it with you, Austin. Like that show. Okay, I gave you a moment. This is your chance right here. Okay, now, Austin, we can get it started.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Let's get it going officially. Welcome to AtoZSports here live on a Thursday. I'm Austin Stanley. He's Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for AtoZSports.com. We are powered by BTA Sports. You can download that app today. Use the link in the show title and description. And also, we go live every weekday morning around 8:10 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. You can follow us on Google. I will drop that follow Google link in the chat here momentarily. But do have to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go make them a part of your new car buying process. Right there in Lebanon. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. We've got our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are local and online at bartondrury.com. Boterra Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart this holiday season especially. 2 locations, Columbia and Gallatin, boterracarts.com. And Win the Nation, where you can get a free estimate at windonation.com. And there are so many different ways you can save thousands and thousands of dollars on phenomenal new windows like I did this fall at windonation.com. Whoa, okay, so Chiron Moore gets fired for cause by Michigan football yesterday afternoon, which I think sent most of the sports world on a tailspin. And we will discuss how that could cross some streams when it comes to the Titans coaching search and what Michigan football is trying to do, because just when we thought the college football coaching carousel was calming down, pausing, or stopping, it's fired back up again. And I think the interesting thing about this is that Michigan football is in a very healthy spot. Michigan football was beating Ohio State away from being in the playoff. And they're just 2 years removed from winning the national championship in the last 14 playoff. And so they have not fired their coach because their football team stinks. They have fired the coach because there is a inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Chiron Moore was detained last night after some assault allegations. And so there's an investigation going on with that is separate of the investigation that Michigan football is going on. So there's a lot of weird stuff, a lot of unfortunate, sad rumors and just sad things happening in Ann Arbor. So we will discuss that. Easton, do you have anything off the top? You kind of like looked like I said something.
To be clear, were you saying they are in a good spot or they were in a good spot?
They are.
Still?
Yeah.
All these players are about to have 2 windows to get up on out of there.
No, I mean, look, would they have preferred to not have their head coach go through a personal scandal with a staffer and get fired and then get arrested because there's potentially some would they prefer to avoid this situation? Yes. but compared to Penn State, compared to
everybody compared to Penn State. Penn State's got 3 recruits.
Compared to Florida, I think compared to programs who fired their coaches because their football team sucked,
sure,
Michigan is not in that boat. That was my point.
I hear what you're saying, and hey, not college football guy, so maybe I'm wrong. I know that there are 2 legal windows for these players in the next couple of months to leave. I know that the university yesterday was scrambling to try to get plans and things in place. It may not be a big difference, but I feel like once the dust has settled on this situation, Michigan will probably be in a worse place than they were before it all happened. And unless they go and, get Kalen DeBoer or something and get a better coach. But
that's what I'm saying.
We just did an entire coaching cycle with Penn State where the entire bit was, holy cow, there's no one to hire. These guys are screwed. And then Michigan fired their guy, which it was so easy when you saw that news to be like, something happened. Like, this is not... Right. They decided 7 years too late to fire their guy. Like, clearly there's an issue here. This is not because he went 9-3 in his second year and failed to win against Ohio State. I did see people like Dave Portnoy saying that, hey, as the standard at Michigan as a Michigan man is if you're going to have a scandal with a staffer and impregnate a staffer in a
allegedly
in a torrid
we don't know
affair.
That we don't know the pregnant part of it to be
right. Well, but
yet,
I'm just saying the point is if you're going to do that, I'm not saying that that Sherrone did, but if you're going to do that kind of thing, you have to beat Ohio State. And they didn't beat Ohio State, so.
Right. No, and so, because this was known, Ryan Roberts has known about this for like a month, and he just kept it from his boss. I don't understand that.
This is a fair question. What is with all the, because everybody in college football is like, yep, I had a feeling this might be coming. Which, the reason, number one, that they're doing that is because us in media, we love to know things early. It's like our personality trait. I knew that early.
I've heard so many people independently of each other saying, "Yeah, I started to hear this." Like,
no, me too. They're not blowing smoke. People really did like this was a messy situation that was not kept secret very well by those involved, and so it has been known shockingly publicly for a while now. But it is also within us media people's nature to be like, "Nope, I knew that. I knew that before you guys." Yeah, so this it's a perfect storm for people to be like, "Yep, saw this coming." Totally saw this coming.
And this detail, right? Yeah, that's what I do.
That's right. No, but did you know?
Yeah, did you know this one? Yeah.
A guy in the sauna 3 months ago told me that. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it's like.
Hey, there is a guy in the sauna that you frequent that actually probably knows some stuff.
This is true. I bring that up because that's true. One of the people that I follow, who I won't single out, but one of the people that I know in the sports world, media world, literally said yesterday. 2 weeks ago, a random guy in my sauna told me this story about Chiron Moore, and I did not believe him, but he was right. So, like, random people on the street did know this before it became public.
Yep. All right, so we will get to more of that. And so, again, there's a lot of allegations. It seems like several people in the chat who have been clearly reading up on this story on social media the last 12 hours are throwing those allegations in the chat. Some things are rumors, some things are allegations, some things are true, some things we don't know are true yet or false yet. So we will discuss one coaching domino and how the Chiron Moore firing and the Titans coaching search could cross paths in a way. But Easton, let's get to Cam Ward doubling down. So Cam Ward, we'll go ahead and play the clip. This was the post-game clip of Cam Ward on Sunday after the Titans get their second win of the season to get to a 2-11 record in Cleveland after beating the Browns in the snow.
I really didn't need it. I treat the wins the same. I treat the losses the same. It's always something that I have to do better. It's a lot of plays that I missed out there just from not giving my receivers a chance. And I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing I did last week, try to get better.
So the part of that comment that I think raised everybody's eyebrows is where he said, I really didn't need it. Because the question was, how much did you need this win? And Cam Ward talked for weeks, 7 in a row, because the Titans lost 7 games in a row since their previous one win. I just want to win games. I just want to win the games. And then you're asked, do you need it? No, I didn't need it. Back half of that clip of I'm going to approach every day regardless of if I won or lost the previous game. Sure, of course, that's totally respectable. But then the back and forth, so that was Sunday after the game from Cam Ward. And then here is his next opportunity to address the Titans media after practice on Wednesday. Easton, you were in attendance, and here was the back and forth between Cam Ward and the Titans media.
I don't think there's been a week where you haven't said winning is the only thing you care about when we've asked you about progress and all of that. And then after you won on Sunday, you said, well, winning and losing kind of the same. It doesn't really matter to me. A lot of us are having trouble kind of balancing that out. Can you kind of expand on what you meant?
Winning and losing, they both got a price. They both got a price to pay. It just depends on which one you want to be a part of.
But you've talked consistently about how much winning means to you. Why Sunday did you seem not to feel differently than you felt after all the failed games?
Because there's a way to win games. There's a way to finish out games. There's a standard that you got to play with every game to give yourself the best, situation to win. But the biggest thing, you got to expect to win every time you step on the field.
Do you feel like the team didn't play to that standard, or you didn't play to that standard in winning?
We played to a standard good enough to win. We didn't play to our best standard. At times of the game, we were sloppy. Offensively, I was sloppy myself. And then defensively, we were. So we just got to continue to emphasize the good, and we got to be real critical on the bad.
Did any of that, like you saying that you didn't really need it or anything like that, did any of that have to do with you just trying to remain balanced regardless of the outcome and always looking for improvement?
No, it's just how I saw it. It's how I played out. And we just got to continue to, be better. We getting better each and every day, no matter whether it's a full speed rep or a jaw through rep. Mentally we getting better. We just got to apply it on the field.
So there's Cam Ward, a minute and a half plus of that. Paul Garski with several questions, and Teron Davenport with the last couple there. So, I do think that was a fair line of questioning. I think the line of questioning was not accusatory by any means. I felt like it was a very, we are confused, and we feel like you're being contradictory of every week you lose. All I want to do is win. You win, and now you're not happy with it. I didn't need that. Not good enough. So, Easton, you wrote an article Monday that a lot of people read, did very well. And then you also have been around these coaches, these players in the locker room, the press conference, talking to other people around the organization. Can you kind of update us on where you see the rest of the organization in the locker room, maybe on how they feel about that before we get to how you feel about it and how I feel about it, how the chat feels about it?
So, generally speaking, everybody's not up in arms. People are ready to move on. It's, as is usually the case, this is a much bigger story for us on the outside than those on the inside. I think it is generally reflective of there being a divide, and this is not really a criticism of the Titans as much as it is just a observation of where any team that is in this situation naturally goes. When you've got a lame duck coaching staff and you've got a really bad roster of guys they've kind of this roster's kind of hollowed out in the middle class. It's a lot of young guys and a lot of old guys in terms of guys actually out there contributing, right? When you go through the starting 22, it's a bunch of guys that have been in the league for 2 years or less, and then a bunch of guys that have been in the league for 5 or more years. And so there's kind of 3 camps of the coaching staff who all but Bones and maybe 1 or 2 other guys is about to be gone somewhere else. So they don't really have any deep emotional attachment to this place anymore. They're just doing their jobs. And again, that's not a criticism of them or that, not calling them out. That's just the way that it goes. There's the young guys who are trying to be the pillars, the foundation of this roster going forward, and don't have a whole lot of experience. And then there's the older guys who a lot of them are not going to be here a whole lot longer, probably. And they are also used to a slightly different version of the NFL, maybe. Like there's kind of a generational gap, I think, between the young guys and the old guys. And I say all that to say, the answer you get on this kind of topic is really different depending on who you're talking to. And it makes it kind of difficult from an outsider's perspective to sift through where the truth is. Because it's one of those things where it's not like anybody's going to, like, everybody that I've talked to is, I don't think they're BSing me. They're telling me the truth as they see it. It's just that people have very different lived experiences right now, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Everybody's perspective is a little bit different right now because they're all kind of in these disjointed different places. And so when I talk to different people from these camps, again, first of all, they're all ready to move on. It's really not that big a deal. But I do think that Cam's attitude to the younger foundational long-term pieces of this team is being taken the best by them, just because that's the attitude that they're trying to also reflect generally, as we'll talk about here in a minute. My opinion on this is that it's a perfect message with a really imperfect messenger. And so in terms of the message, in terms of the culture element of it, they're on board with this idea that we need to have a winning standard around here. And the Titans, for a couple of years now, haven't really had a winning standard. So they understand where that's coming from. The older guys, as we've heard them talk about ad nauseum, is like they're trying to emphasize how hard it is to win in this league. The young guys don't understand that, and the old guys are right about this, right? Like they really don't understand how hard it is to win in this league, even though this year they've experienced it firsthand. These guys that have been around a long, long time, they know what it takes, and they know it's really difficult, and so they're trying to emphasize that. And then the coaching staff I just wants everybody to get along, I guess. Like they're trying to keep everybody rowing in the same direction, and it's not like they're really struggling with that or anything. But when it comes to this kind of thing and the weird task of trying to like maintain and build a culture in a place that you're not going to be very much longer, and everybody knows you're not going to be there very much longer, so it's like, how much are you actually being listened to each week, increasingly less so. It's just a weird situation, because of course it's a weird situation, because this team is in a weird spot.
For sure. All right, so let's ask the audience. I've favorited some comments from the people on this. So let's go ahead and ask the audience this question here. Which side of the fence are you on with this Cam contradictory comment? So of him saying for weeks after all 11 losses, all I want to do is win football games. And then he wins a football game without having some crazy like Madden glitches that the Cardinals had. And they won a game, and then he was not happy. He seemed the opposite, said he did not need the win, right? So which side of the fence are you on this one? We'll get to everybody's thoughts here on it. But real quick, I'm going to tell you guys about my friends at Win the Nation. Hey, look what came in the mail. Thank you card from Win the Nation.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
And I got a gift card.
To Win Donation?
Worth $500.
For if you need more windows?
No.
To give to somebody?
I can give it to a friend.
Oh, wow.
Or a neighbor for their new next project.
Wow.
So $500 right here. I got $500.
Who's it going to?
Nation. Huh?
Who's it going to?
I don't know. I mean, I could give it away. That'd be a hell of a thing, wouldn't it?
It would be. I don't need it because I don't own this place, but somebody would, I'm sure, really.
That'd be pretty wild. So, but hey, Winter Nation's great. It's a great company. I wasn't joking about how awesome.
Do you think I could take it and then use it as a rebate on my rent? Be like, I'll trade you this as rent bucks.
I don't know if that's how that works. But no, winternation.com is where to go. They have a great deals always going on with what they have with all the different window styles. I saved thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on our windows. We did the buy two get two free. 50% off all window styles going on now, and there's so many different ways to finance these windows to help you out, whatever your situation is. Windowsnation.com is where to go. Windowsnation.com, a free estimate. That's all it takes to get the process rolling. Or you don't have to do anything. They can come over and do the whole presentation. If it's not the right time for you, no sweat. Windowsnation.com is where to go.
How many windows did y'all get, by the way?
10.
10 windows, and they did it all in one day.
Yeah.
How about that? We're also brought to you by BTA Sports, better for bettors. Dominating the game. Use the link in the description below to sign up for the BTA Sports app today, right in the palm of your hand. Use those promo codes, use the link, and you will get 14 days of a free trial to understand this app, understand really, that's all of the time you need to realize the money that it's going to make you at the sports book. It is a worthwhile tool to add to your toolbox as a serious sports watcher, as a serious bettor. They are a fantastic AI machine learning sports analytics company that is informing your betting hunches. When you feel a certain way, I go to BTA Sports and I confirm what my gut tells me with what their numbers say, and it leads to more wins at the window. So check them out, BTA Sports.
All right, so what side of the fence are you on with this Cam Ward situation here? King VC does say if you aren't locked in, lock in. If you haven't liked the show, like it.
Agreed.
hit that like button.
You know what? Fantastic point, King VC. I hadn't considered that. I agree.
So which side of the fence are you on in this one? Because for me, I'm not like, I think what Cam Ward could have said, what he said post game on Wednesday, that is a totally fair thing, right? But in the post-game comment, he comes off as, I don't know if naive is the right word. Naive feels a little harsh, but that's kind of what I have here in the moment. But he comes off as just not fully understanding what the NFL is. This is not the ACC. This is not the Pac-12. This is not whatever the hell conference he was in an Incarnate Word.
How dare
where
you.
Point spreads are 14, 17, hell, 28, right?
You don't know what conference Incarnate Word is in?
No, do you? You don't know anything.
Of course I do.
What? Do you know what state Incarnate Word is in?
Yes, of course.
What?
Huh?
Yes, exactly. You know nothing.
I'm speechless that you don't know.
You don't,
Chat,
you don't know what
tomatoes.
state?
Throw tomatoes at this guy for
You
not
have
knowing
no
those
idea.
things.
You're just saying.
Of course
things.
I know. I
Of
cover
course
Cam
you
Ward
know.
for a living. Of course I know where Incarnate Word is and what conference they're in. It's very important to me.
Okay, what is it?
Yeah.
So, the NFL comes down to field goals. Games come down to the wire.
Yes, they do.
Bad teams cover all the time, including his, right? And so, for me, I am hearing Cam Ward say, when he was specifically asked about, and talks about the standard, he names the standard and says, well, did you guys point out the wins? Like, yeah, we point out the win, but not to our best standard. I was like, Cam, my initial thought, I said this in my car while I heard this live.
Okay.
Cam, you're 2-11. Beggars can't be choosers. You were begging for a win for 8 straight weeks, 7 losses and a bye worked in there. Your coach got fired between these 8 weeks. Beggars can't be choosers. You were begging for a win. You got to win. You scored 31 points. Your defense made plays. You made plays. It was the first game of your NFL career where you threw for 2 touchdown passes. Beggars can't be choosers. Appreciate the win post-game. Have a great flight home, and then wake up the next day and forget about it and move forward to the Niners. Totally fine. Right? Like, that's, I fully believe all the Titans veterans feel that way. That it's hard to win this league. It comes down to 4 plays and inches. We all know those cliches. Any one play can change the way the game goes. Yes, the Browns had the 2-point conversions. Yes, Cedric Ward could have continued running and not run out of gas, and that wouldn't have been an issue at all. But beggars can't be choosers. You won the damn game. Move, accept it, enjoy it, understand that you can be better, but not let that just bring down the joy of winning. That's how I feel about it.
Before I share my opinion, let's consult the chat because we did ask a question here and there are a number of answers. Bad news for you, Austin, although you've been here all week, so you know how this is going to go. The people don't agree with you, generally speaking. Let's see. What of these can I actually read? Duran says, we've been here losing for 3 or 4 years. Young boys not going to take this joy. That's I think the feelings of the older guys, obviously. Shane says, I don't have a problem with the Cam not dancing for beating the 3-win Browns, especially when they tried to give up a 14-point lead.
So here's the problem that I have, because I also have this comment from Darren says, "We won, time to parade. You young boys just don't know." Okay, there's a large gap between dancing, throwing a parade, and just enjoying and being grateful and appreciative of winning a game in the NFL. Like, can we stop with that? Like, not everything's the best, not everything's the worst. There is middle ground all around, and you can live right there in it. You can say, hey, team played well enough to win. We're excited about that. We've been trying and scratching and clawing to get a win for 8 weeks. Whew, feels good to win. But yeah, I could have been better. I had some moments to grow from, but man, it feels good to win. That's all you got to say. That's just live in that. Enjoy that. And then feel grateful that you can learn from the win. That's another cliche we talk about all the damn time. Like, I get so frustrated by no, I sucked, but we won, but I sucked. So I'm going to be pouty in this post-game presser.
I hear you. I'm going to continue reading comments.
Yes.
My opinion on this is, like, my opinion doesn't even necessarily refute what you're saying. I guess my takeaway from all of this has been something completely different than your takeaway. Like, your takeaway may be accurate, but to me, what you're taking away from it isn't actually the story to me, if that makes sense. So I don't disagree necessarily. I just think there's a different point here that you're not emphasizing. So I'll get to that.
Okay.
But Bajan Silva says he got outplayed by his rival. He was in his feelings, which is an understandable
no, it's not
theory.
Oh, understandable theory, but
yeah, because we're all speculating. We don't know.
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a reasonable thing to think.
Because if Cam Ward truly was in his feelings because Shedeur threw for like 3 times as many yards as he did, that's not an exaggeration either.
Right.
Then that's bad by Cam Ward.
Yeah, it's pathetic. That's pathetic if that's the case.
I don't think it is. But
we don't know.
I mean, maybe a little bit.
You never know. Tall Texan, on Cam's side, never be satisfied with a win. Ryan Roberts giving us a hard time for not doing our incarnate word research. Well, I have. Austin hasn't.
You have no idea.
I told you I know.
You had no idea that incarnate word is in Arizona.
Of course I knew that.
Nero it's in said, Texas.
Of course I knew that. Nero said campsite all day. He was outplayed by... there's more than one person that believes that the outplayed by a friend narrative is the accurate one here, which is interesting to me. I'm on Cam's side. Ghost says, "Speak the truth," and isn't trying to sugarcoat things. We don't need.
For people that actually feel like Cam Ward was in his feelings for being outplayed by a friend/rival, then you have a big problem with your quote franchise quarterback.
True, and I'd imagine they probably agree. Like if you think that, then there's a much larger issue at hand here than the way that he acted. So we get the gist of the comments. So let me share my opinion on this and I generally hate when we dissect word for word comments from 23-year-olds at the podium. In this case, I do think it's important for the general story of this team and where they're headed. But I'm always going to try to understand where the person is coming from, because going up there at the podium and answering these questions off the cuff without preparing your statements is a lot harder than people think it is, first of all. And second of all, I think it's more common than people realize for folks to say something that is maybe a little contradictory of themselves, or get a little wordy and, talk themselves in circles a little bit. And I bring all that up to say, I have listened to Cam. I have talked to Cam for a long time now, right? For many, many months, I have talked to him multiple times a week. I have a pretty good grasp on what his MO is at the podium and the way that he approaches us in a formal questioning setting. And there are kind of different archetypes to the way different players approach media questions. Cam's is contrarian by nature.
Yeah, disagree with everything that you try to ask him.
Right, and that's not him just being difficult or hard-headed. It's a defense mechanism that he either developed on his own or was taught at some point along the line, but it's generally a pretty decent one for a high-ranking player on a team to take. There are a number of quarterbacks that are this way to some extent, because they're trying at all costs to not be backed into a corner by the reporter who's kind of leading the witness. We ask leading questions. This is not a court of law, and we're trying. I mean, the job is kind of to ask leading questions, because when we ask questions, we're trying to get certain things because we're planning stories. Yes. And so we lead the witness, and some guys play ball, and some guys don't, especially if they disagree. They'll push back. And I love when they push back against a narrative, because they're just being honest. With Cam, it's not about whether he agrees with you or not. He's just always going to refute the premise of your question so that he is not painting himself into a corner in the future. So if you ask a question about, how badly did you guys need something, like a win, for example, he is instinctually, without thinking about it, going to say, I don't know, I don't know that we needed it that bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that. It's not that dramatic. If you ask a question about, is it more this thing or this thing? He is always going to say, it is a mix of those two things. It's somewhere
Marcus
in the middle.
Mariota's biggest line. A little bit of both. Like, you could not ask Marcus an A versus B question. It was a little bit of both.
Right, and that's the point. This is not a
Cam Ward
exclusive thing.
The same.
He's just
the same thing.
That is the approach that he has adopted, and it is generally a great protection mechanism.
I think we should test it. I think we should test it. I
see
think
if we can find something to get him to A or B on.
Something to no, just something that he obviously needs.
Right. Well, like
how much do you need the run game to be as effective as it was versus the Browns?
I can tell you his answer, though. He's going to be like, we've got to be able to find a way no matter what. That's going to be the answer. It's okay. Maybe that's not the good one. Maybe we need to keep working on this one off. But there isn't one. Like, you could, his best receiver by far was Calvin. And then when he's gone, we ask him, like, how big a deal is it for you to not have Calvin? How important is Calvin to you? And he'll be like, Calvin's a great player, but we got some dogs in this team that are, that are going to be helping out.
We have to find a way to test it to where he is going to agree with it. You ask him a question.
I feel like we've been testing it for months, and the answer is you can't do it.
Like, on purpose? Deliberately?
Planning? No, not deliberately.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's time. It is now time.
Okay.
He just said, all I want to do is win, and then was asked, how bad did you need that? No.
Right.
Like, that's a pretty layup-y as you can get.
So let me get to my actual point on this topic, because that's how I read his answers on Sunday and from yesterday. That's the lens with which I view them. And it's why I think I am having less of a reaction to it than people who aren't there listening to him every day, which I think is really understandable, because it is kind of weird. You do have to translate it for it to make sense. Both of these comments that he made, the big one on Sunday being we don't need a win, and then he goes on to talk about how he treats wins and losses the same. And then the one yesterday where he says, he mentions, what did he say? He's like, wins and losses both have a price. It's just a matter of which one you want to pay, which is objectively the dumbest of the things that he's said, because I don't even know what that means.
It's like, why did you just fill that gap of error with words?
That's like a stop talking moment. I don't know what that means. Like, that makes it sound like you're fine with you'd rather lose. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that.
It's something that sounds really good on your poster that's in a frame in your office.
Right. But he says that, and then follows it up with, it's about a winning standard. We were good enough to win, but not good enough by our own standards. So with both of these controversial comments that he made, I see them as him opening with an instinctual defense mechanism that I've seen him use a million times of refuting the premise of the question with something objectively silly and contradictory, but then giving the real and reasonable and I think really important answer for this team, because that's what I wrote about on Monday in that article. And that's what I was alluding to when I said there's a point here that I think is more important than microanalyzing what Cam is saying. And the point that I'm getting from this, and again, this is all speculative. Like, none of us know what is in his heart and what led him to act this way. I am speculating. You are speculating. So I'll preface this by saying, whatever percentage of this attitude is born of childishness or selfishness or poutiness, that needs to be struck from the record right? So I don't know what percentage that is, whether it's 0% or 20% or 80%, whatever percentage, that is bad. But those bad intentions, however prominent they were, led to what I think is a really important message for this team culturally, which is we have had a participation trophy. We'll get them next time, moral victory attitude for a couple of years now around here.
Have they?
I think so, because I think back, Austin.
I mean, after the Seahawks game, 1,000% yes. Mike McCoy went up there and did that's Mike McCoy. That wasn't the previous couple
but Austin, it was the same. It was the whole locker room. The whole vibe down there was real positive for a game that they lost by 7. I know. But okay, well, then I think back to the way that they completely no-showed against the worst team in the league after their first win this season in Las Vegas, the game that ultimately got their head coach fired. I think back to last season when they won in Houston, and they're practically popping bottles in the locker room. Though, we did this for Miss Amy. We're shaking hands and kissing babies. And then the next week, they completely no-show in Washington. They're down by 30 in the first 10 seconds. And then afterwards, they're talking about suffering from success and about how freezing cold it was, and it was 42 degrees outside.
But they also
these are all signs. Let me finish. These are all signs of a team that does not have a adult table standard. They are at the kiddie table in the NFL, and they have been for a while. And culturally, this team needs what Cam is pushing, whether he's doing it for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. They need to have that winning standard again if they're going to be a serious competitor each and every Sunday. And I'm not even talking about a playoff contender or a Super Bowl contender. I'm talking about a team that we aren't going into each week talking about them being an 11-point underdog. Yeah, we're going into each week talking about how they might have a chance to beat whoever their opponent may be, like a real NFL team, because they've not been that for a while. They've not.
Right, but I don't think they've been participation trophy-like for the last couple of years. I think they've had some moments of that, and I think
every modicum of success they've experienced for 2 years, they have demonstrated that their standard is not nearly high enough, because they have, I don't want to say rested their laurels, but they've been awfully pleased with some really low bar successes.
I don't know. I mean, how many times does Jeff Simmons just run out of words to say after a loss because he's so pissed off? Right.
And I'm not going to say all of them. Like Jeff Simmons is like one of the only guys, in my opinion, that's like Cam in that locker room that has a much higher bar for success. So I'm not singling out any one individual. But I think there's a cloud of culture, and this is the coaching staff, it's the locker room, it's everybody that needs to have a higher standard than they do.
Well, there was in the Mike McCoy post-game speech video the Titans put out there on their social media that I watched.
I am singling out Mike McCoy, by the way. He's the one guy that I will single out.
But I watched this, and Mike McCoy said in that, like, we had a lot of tough conversations this past week, but you have to have those. And he didn't say that with a chest that I just did. He said it a little bit differently. But I that actually caught my attention. I was like, oh, okay, good. Like, like they should. Duh. Like, it's not like I'm not giving them all the credit in the world for having hard conversations when you're 1-11, but at least they're doing it. And so I don't know. Like, I'm not fully, again, I think there's so much middle ground here. Like, they haven't handled success well, or they haven't won back-to-back games in over 3 years well at all because they suck. They have bad players. And the coaches were not able to have those players be better and elevate them. And they've had bad injury luck. And they've had awful quarterback play. And they keep nuking themselves in the foot. They're not even shooting themselves in the foot. They're nuking themselves in the foot.
That sounds dangerous.
Very. I mean, look at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're not good, but I don't think it's because they have a participation trophy attitude. I think that's another like, they won a game.
I don't think so either. I wrote that explicitly in the article that they're the mentality that I am afraid they have. I won't say accusing them of having, but I fear this is because based on the examples that I've laid out, I have seen things that I think are indicative of this. That's not the reason they're bad. The reason they're bad is the roster. It's not the coaching. It's not the mindset. It's not the culture. It's not the training staff. It's the roster stinks. Like, that's the reason.
And the roster stinks because of many different reasons and turnovers up top that have created different preferences and different styles and different wants and needs and contracts and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Of course. But on any team's journey out of the dumpster, building back up a roster, you do have to fend off being pleased with minor success. You do have to maintain a big boy NFL winning standard if you're ever going to get back to the big boy table.
And here's the thing. If you ask a lot of the big boys, a lot of the big boys in the NFL, winning's hard in this league. It's something that they will always say. And you have to appreciate when you win a game in the NFL. And normally those guys don't say NFL. They say winning is hard in the National Football League. You have to appreciate every win you get in the National Football League, because those guys like to say National Football League. Like it makes it sound even more important than.
But also, let's make this not about the Titans for a minute, because I think you are dismissing the reality of how, I don't want to say how common, but like how real this thing can be for teams. Like, think about the bad teams of the past, however many years you want to go back, that have stayed bad, and some of the antics they've gotten up to. I'm old enough to remember when the Raiders 2 or 3 years ago upset Kansas City in Kansas City, one of the Gruden years. And then there's stories coming out on Tuesday about the team bus doing laps around Arrowhead Stadium afterwards, celebrating the win. Like, it's that kind of, and again, I'm not saying the Titans are doing that. I'm saying there have been instances in the past of bad teams being way too pleased with small successes. The other game that those two teams played later that year, I think the Chiefs beat them by 7 trillion points. They really took them out behind the woodshed. It's that kind of general attitude that I'm not accusing the Titans of having, but I am saying what Cam Ward has demonstrated here, in my opinion, is a guy that is the quarterback, the leader of this team, who absolutely is not going to stand for being pleased with small successes in the NFL. And I understand where you're coming from, saying that he needs to have realistic expectations. He needs to understand where he and his team are at. He needs to understand that this is not the ACC, and he's not going to be beating up on teams each week by 3 touchdowns. So there is a middle ground there, but I'm far less concerned with him having too high of expectations, and far more concerned with him or anybody else on this team having too low of expectations, because that's the way you don't succeed. That's a great way to stall this rebuild.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I get that. I just think there's a middle ground here of, we won the game, we're going to enjoy the flight home, and we're going to get to work tomorrow on being better than we were today. End of story. That's all it needed to be. And Cam Ward needs to loosen up a little bit. Jeffrey Simmons said, like, last week before the Browns game, it sucks coming to work. I'm paraphrasing. He said, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? You won. So go to work with an extra step in your energy and go try to win 2 games in a row for the first time since November of 2022. All right. So let's move forward with this. We've got the Sherrone Moore.
12-point underdogs this week, by the way.
Perfect. Cover spot. Big cover spot. I don't even know the last time the Titans won at San Francisco. That's a research project.
They beat San Francisco here recently, but that's it. Yeah, I can't think of the last time
you might have to go Jeff Fisher. I don't even know. Jeff Fisher might have not won. I know Jeff Fisher never won in San Diego. But
right?
Yeah, that was
the Niners. Like, how many times did them, NFC team?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have they? Here, I've got it pulled up right here. The last time they were at San Francisco, that Tennessee won.
2009, Vince Young.
Yeah, 2009.
Scott says
34-27, barn burner.
Crazy.
They've only played 4 times since 2009. They played 5 times since the turn of the century.
In San Fran or just total?
Just ever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and most of them.
25 years, five meetings.
I feel like most of those are in San Fran.
Only 2 of them. 3 of them were in Tennessee.
What? That's not right.
In 05 and 13 and 21, they were at Tennessee, and Tennessee was 2-1 in those games.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's go ahead and get to Sherrone Moore and the domino that could fall with all this. We'll do that in a second, but first, Easton, tell everybody about Botero Carts.
Botero Carts, they are a locally owned and operated full-service sales dealership with the best carts on the market, starting at just under $6,800. You can go and check them out with 2 locations to serve you in the Middle Tennessee area, in Columbia and in Gallatin. No dealer fees, no credit card fees, 0% financing for 36 months. In other words, they're not going to nickel and dime you to death. Your final closing price is not going to magically be $3,000 more than what you saw on the sticker. They are going to hook you up with a cart for an affordable price, and they are open 7 days a week. So head over there whenever you can get the time this holiday season. Gift somebody a golf cart in your life. What an incredible gift. You can kind of cosplay those ridiculous fake families on television in the car commercials that are gifting $70,000 Lexuses to each other, which is a thing that doesn't, let's be honest, no one's given somebody a car for Christmas, but you can give somebody a golf cart, which is the next best thing. Do it with our friends at Botero Carts.
All right, Easton, I'm going to have you tell people about BTA Sports because I need to send a tweet.
All right. We can do that around here. I can tell people to do things for me because I'm busy tweeting. Is that how it works?
No. I can do that. You cannot. You tweet enough
yes.
as it is. You tweet
BTA
enough.
Sports, better for betters. Check them out today. Use the link in the description below. Use that link to get a 14-day free trial on the app, and you will make money at the sportsbook at a higher clip with the data backing of BTA Sports. I can guarantee you that. They are a fantastic AI analytics model for you to inform your betting and make more money. What else could you ask for, BTA Sports?
All right, so Sherrone Moore gets fired in a lot of controversy yesterday. The Michigan head coach, I'll pull up the graphic. There are a lot of allegations, rumors that are out there, but what do we know for a fact? ESPN's Adam Schefter, who is not shameless to say that he's a Michigan guy, tweets that the sources that Moore fired for cause. Then later on that evening, Dan Wetzel, the ex-Michigan coach Chiron Moore, was detained by police in Saline, Michigan this evening and turned over to police in Pittsfield Township for investigation into potential charges. And then Tony Paul, the Detroit News, has a little bit of a timeline here. Police were called into an alleged assault at 4:10 p.m. University of Michigan announced that Moore's firing at 30 minutes later. Moore was booked at that county jail at 8:30 p.m. Police made contact at the 3000 block of Ann Arbor Saline Road. There are apartments nearby. The rumors are, the facts are. We'll start with the facts. The facts are Chiron Moore was fired for cause due to a inappropriate relationship with a staffer on the Michigan staff, the support staff there for the football program. Now, the rumors are a lot of different things. I don't want to necessarily get into it, but some they get real dark real quick. Mm-hmm. There's rumors about cover-ups, doubling salaries. Chiron Moore's been involved in the previous scandals with Jim Harbaugh and the Connor Stallion situation of deleting texts and covering things up there. So Chiron Moore fired for cause. He does have a wife and 3 kids, so there is some empathy that can be had with a very sad situation. And some of the rumors about what happened that led to his arrest and detainment are very scary, shocking.
I think we can say with confidence that a guy made some really big mistakes, the details of which are still cloudy, and his life was crashing in on him yesterday, and it led to him doing
breakdown,
some rash things, as I think anyone can understand. If the entire world is imploding in on you, what that might feel like and what that might lead a person to do.
And Jeff says the doubling of the salary is legit. There's paperwork. Absolutely. The person involved in this inappropriate relationship had a salary of $58,000 that was then all of a sudden $90,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So, and somebody says, what the hell does this have to do with Tennessee?
That job.
What is it that you don't? There's a lot of other things that come with that $90,000 salary, by the way.
I can be bought.
What does this have to be? What does this have to do with the Titans?
Yeah, what does this have to do with the Titans?
Coaching search domino here. Because now,
and you love your Domino's.
I love Domino's. I do think Domino's pizza is the best of the big fast food chains pizzas.
Whoa, wild hot take out of nowhere. That's crazy. Didn't expect that on a Thursday morning. I
do like my Domino's and the connecting of those dots to figure out what is the way to get back to the Titans. So the Titans have a coaching search. Now Michigan has a coaching search. There's been a name that has been connected to the Titans, a coordinator who has played in Nashville, coached in Nashville. That is Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, who was with Jim Harbaugh in LA with the Chargers, who was with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan with the Wolverines, and who is currently serving the final months of his 1-year show cause from the NCAA for recruiting violations, basically either lying / withholding violations from Michigan compliance and also from the NCAA, and doing some things. It was also around during the Connor Stallion situation. So Jesse Minter, if you remember the Chargers-Titans game in Nashville, there was a storyline on the broadcast about how Mike McCoy and Jesse Minter know each other. They go back ways because of Jesse Minter's father. There's a connection there. Jesse Minter's a 42-year-old up-and-coming coach that now has baggage on him because of the show cause and just being around that Michigan program. So my question here is, Jesse Minter is absolutely on the list of Michigan candidates because his show cause runs out basically at the right time, as the Chargers will be wrapping up their season there in January, as the Michigan Wolverines play their bowl game against Texas with the interim coach who has done the interim coaching gigs while Sherrone Moore was suspended. And so my question here is, how would you feel if the Titans hired Jesse Minter, who is connected to all of this Michigan scandal stuff pre-Sherrone Moore relationship stuff? Jesse Minter obviously has nothing to do with the inappropriate relationship with a staffer, but Jesse Minter was involved in recruiting violations, sketchy stuff, Michigan, Connor Stallions things. How would you feel as a Titans fan, chat, if you hired somebody who was just wrapped up in all that stuff as your head coach?
Right. Interesting. Right? It's interesting. It's just funny to me that Jim Harbaugh was wrapped up in all of this. And obviously, first, it's duh. Of course he was. But and not all of this that just happened yesterday necessarily, but the Michigan, the football rule breaking element of it. Because I don't really he's not somebody that strikes you as shady. When you hear him talk,
Jesse
he's
Minter?
No, I'm talking about Harbaugh.
Oh,
yeah. You know what I mean?
Harbaugh is, I will do anything it takes to win this. And if you get in my way, then I'm going to just run you over.
Right, but does he strike anybody as a bad guy or a shady guy? No, he comes off as
he's a
this
crazy
lovable,
psychopath football coach.
But lovable.
Because he's weird and quirky.
Yep, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He's lovable from afar. I don't think you would necessarily love him if you had to deal with him every day. Yes.
This is what I'm trying to say. So let's see what people in the chat are saying.
Again, the question.
Where is Minter coaching now? He is the defensive coordinator of Harbaugh's Chargers, and he has been there since Jim took that job. Texas says he's out. He's proven nothing as a coach. Well, that's not true. Actually, he's led one of the more impressive units from a coaching standpoint of the past couple of years. The Chargers. He was
also the Vanderbilt defensive coordinator in 2021.
Yes, good point. Good point. So ties. There are ties there. Dumb. Bad hire. All caps. Okay, so Jack feels strongly about this. Donnie says Minter isn't excuse me, isn't worth that, I don't think. That's a cliffhanger there. Never wanted him, said Ghost. Jeff says they won't do that. They are steering clear of anybody connected to that scandal.
Michigan won't do that.
Oh, I see. I was like, well, how does
Michigan won't hire Jesse Minter because he is connected to the Jim Harbaugh standard. I mean, logically, I would feel that way, but yes, I don't think Michigan feels. I don't think Michigan feels that way. I think Michigan wants. Yeah.
My gut right now tells me that he's like a lock to get the job. I think it's going to be Michigan.
No lock. There's no locks. There's no such thing.
I'm just telling you what my gut says. My gut is fully expecting him to end up being the coach. That's based on nothing but my gut.
At Michigan.
Yes. Because I don't know what their options. Unless they land the DeBoer trifecta parlay, that it would be a crazy thing to happen, and maybe it will. Especially if DeBoer wants the job and they want him, then it'll probably happen.
And there is floating sourcing around, including Ryan Roberts, our guy who believes that Kalen DeBoer does have interest in the Michigan job. There's thoughts that Matt Campbell had the Michigan job like nearly top of his list. He's probably kicking himself because he just took the Penn State job last week. He's like, why didn't you tell me there was a scandal going on with Sherrone Moore? I would have stayed.
Well,
I said
and
I would
here's the
stay for
thing.
10 years. I would have done it for another week.
He definitely knew. I refuse to believe he didn't know. When
Matt
random
Campbell?
dude in sauna who, pushes
That's true.
pencil for a living knew. This guy,
That's
he
true.
totally knew. He had to have known.
Yeah.
If Ryan Roberts knew, of all people, then he definitely knew. So whether Minter ends up taking the Michigan job or not, the question of would you be okay with the Titans taking it? People in the chat, clearly, I've not seen one person that says they don't care. Oh, here's one. Who gives a crap from Dre? So he, you know what? He doesn't care. He's going to judge him on the merits of him as a coach. I feel ill-equipped to speak on his involvement in the entire situation because I know it all anecdotally and from headlines. I did not deep dive into all of the Michigan stuff. And it's a lot, right? Like it's a complicated, twisted tale.
So there's Jesse Minter's show cause. I'm going to read this and I want to see what you think about this. So, Jesse Minter received a 1-year show cause for impermissible early recruiting contacts and failing to report violations, meaning any NCAA school hiring him during that year faces restrictions. His penalty expires late 2025. Stems from recruiting issues during his time on Jim Harbaugh's staff, separate from the larger scouting scandal. Details: violation. Minter knew about and participated in recruiting communications before the allowed dates so basically he was talking to recruits before they were eligible to be talked to.
Right.
And there was a resolution. Minter reached an agreement, a negotiated resolution with the NCAA separating his case from the main Michigan's infractions case. So he went out there and said, whoa. I'm not saying I'm innocent, but I'm not guilty with that stuff. Like,
right.
But he was the defensive coordinator. So
knowing all of that,
I refuse to believe if Chiron Moore was very involved in the Connor Stallion scouting stuff, then the defensive coordinator maybe wasn't as involved, but knew what was going on.
Yeah, I agree. I just, when I hear that, I hear a guy that is a coach who was cheating when it comes to recruiting, which to me, like everybody's, if you're not cheating, you're not trying when it comes to college ball recruiting. He was cheating when it comes to scouting.
But he's also cheating in the world of recruiting when it's really hard to cheat now. Like a lot of things are fair game.
True. But even though it's hard to cheat now, I refuse to believe that there are other big programs also pushing the envelope in certain ways. And I think Michigan just did it too much and got caught. But I also see a guy that was, probably involved in some way with illegal advanced scouting, which, is different in college than it is in the NFL. So I just can't say that I'm all that bothered by that past. If it's really just those things, when it comes to him as a potential NFL head coach, I'm not sure I care that much, to be honest with you.
That I wanted to ask this question because I'm genuinely curious. Michigan has been.
My question is, how does that pertain to what he'd be doing as the Tennessee Titans head coach? I'm not sure how that.
It's just it's just somebody who's been involved and around a lot of scandal is now the face of your football program as the head coach in the NFL. Now, Jim Harbaugh,
when you put it that way, it's not great. But when you put it like a guy that's demonstrated he's willing to do whatever it takes to succeed in football, it looks a lot less bad.
But it's all like, again, yet it's the Titans. Like Jim Harbaugh gets away with it because he's proven to be a very good NFL coach and a very good football coach in general, right?
Of course.
Jesse Minter has never been a head coach before.
Right.
And you're the Tennessee Titans, who have been the laughing stock of the league for going on 2 full seasons. You fired Mike Vrabel, who is going to win Coach of the Year with the MVP of the league and get the 1 seed and all that kind of stuff in New England. You've been embarrassed so many times. And so I'm not saying this is my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there is, do you want to hire somebody who does, especially now? Because if Sherrone Moore continued to be the head coach of Michigan, maybe this would just fly under the radar and nobody would remember that Jesse Minter was serving a show cause for stuff. Like, you don't just get a show cause for no reason. Show cause are serious. They go out there for reasons. And so, like, Jim Harbaugh's got a long one, but he doesn't care.
That's right.
Because Jim Harbaugh. So
I've shared my opinion on what I would think if it were to happen. Now let me put my reporter hat on and share what I think the Titans think. I don't think he's a very serious consideration for the job. He may very well get an interview. And I could be wrong about this. Maybe, with time passing, this becomes less of a thought in your mind when it comes to Jesse Minter, if you're the Titans. But I think the combination of the fact that he has no head coaching experience and whatever you tie to him with the scandal stuff eliminates him from being an actual serious candidate for the Titans, which to me, I think it has more to do with the fact that he's not been a head coach before. Like I maintain what I said. He was the interim head coach for the first of 3 games that Jim Harbaugh was suspended in the 2023 excuse me, I stand corrected.
He's got a 1-0 head coaching record.
I guess what I'm saying is I think if the Titans hire somebody that does not have head coaching experience, which I won't say is fully off the table because there are only so many guys that are viable candidates who have been head coaches before. So you really limit yourself if you say that's a hard and fast rule in your search. But if they're going to hire somebody that's not been a head coach before, I think that person is going to have to be a sterling candidate. Like they're going to have no blemishes. They're going to have to be an incredible interview. They're going to have to be somebody, because cynically, I think for the Titans, it's going to have to be somebody that they feel confident that the public will get behind in a hurry because they clearly care very deeply about that. And I just don't think that he would fit that bill at this point.
That's fair. Jesse Minter is also like the defensive version of Brian Callahan. His dad, Rick Minter, was a longtime football coach, a head coach at the University of Cincinnati.
How about that?
And a long time, and he's been on the staffs with Jesse the last several years with Jim Harbaugh as well.
Really? Wow, that is
currently, Rick is a senior. He's the Mike McCoy of defense for the Chargers this year.
Oh no, then I'm out. Never mind.
Oh, you're out.
I'm out on all that.
I'm not saying he is Mike McCoy. I mean, he's the Mike McCoy role of defense.
I know. Right? You scared me off there.
But, for me, my answer is I think there are better candidates for the Titans. So I'm not saying this is a deal breaker, but I'm saying this is a way to maybe just we can look better places for this fit. I'm not saying Jesse Minter's a bad coach or a bad candidate. I'm just saying that the Titans might be able to find something more proven, more solid than a first-time head coach, coordinator type in their early 40s.
It'll lead them to say, we can look at the other team in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Maybe those guys.
Maybe.
Or up the road in San Francisco. Are the Titans
or
playing? Or
further up the road in Seattle?
Perhaps.
How many?
7.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about another.
What was your question going to be? How many?
You answered it.
Okay, I know.
We might save it for tomorrow. We might need.
Okay. Is 7 an actual? Is it an acceptable answer?
It could be. It totally could be. I have no idea. I thought you knew where I was going.
Actually, I think I do now that I'm thinking about it. It's not 7. It's 6.
Okay.
That's my actual answer.
Shut up.
No. That's not a bit. That my literal answer to the question I'm pretty sure you're asking is 6.
Okay. Burning Devils was Easton read his mind. Well, when you have as many conversations about content, then it usually happens. It's a good thing. I like that. All right. So there is an actual update on the Titans coaching search side of things. So we will do that here in a second. But let me tell you guys about Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. BartonDrury.com. It is open enrollment time for AtoZSports. We had our meeting with Barton Drury yesterday, talking about the benefits for this year and how to opt in, how to do this, how to do that, what type of benefits do we have, our choices that we have here for health coverage, for dental, and for vision. Through Barton Jury Insurance Group, they are phenomenal with that. They took a lot of time out of their day to jump on Charles and Mike. Appreciate them for walking our staff through the different options and different things and questions that we have as a company for the best choices for us, our situations individually, and beyond. And they can help you do the same thing, whether you're looking for your company to have better coverage. You can reach out to your HR person and say, hey, Barton Jury Insurance Group, they're local to Nashville. They can help out. They're great. They will jump on a phone call, jump on a Zoom, do a full group Zoom. They'll very responsive through emails with all the different support staff as well. They're truly a great experience for insurance, which is not an easy thing to find. So check them out online, whatever insurance needs you're looking for, home, auto, rental, boat, on top of the health coverage, 401k planning as well. Online, bartonjury.com.
We are, of course, also powered by BTA Sports. Check them out with the link in the description below for a 14-day free trial on us. You will not regret putting the BTA Sports app on your phone and using it at the sportsbook.
All right, so another coaching update. So Jeremy Fowler had this on ESPN.com yesterday. This is the update. Matt Nagy. The Matt Nagy Titans connection is one that comes up in league circles with the belief that Tennessee general manager Mike Berganzi has a good relationship with Nagy from the Kansas City days. Nagy's Chicago tenure has aged well, going 34-31 with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. The Chiefs' struggles could affect Nagy's chances, but I expect him to be a candidate in Tennessee. So nothing new, right? But I just think some reinforcement on Matt Nagy as an option for the Titans. So, Easton, we can go ahead and throw this question out. Maybe we'll continue to do this now that we're in December. Are we within 1 month of the Titans hiring a new coach? Maybe.
Not quite.
Maybe.
Not quite.
Maybe. We could be. We don't, not necessarily, but we could be.
They're not going to conduct their search in 4 days.
I don't know. You don't know that.
I do know that.
Okay. So
Chad Brinker ain't rolling that way. He's thorough. He's a thorough guy.
well, I do. Maybe we can start asking these questions. I don't know. Maybe have one topic
The
a
Titans
week.
will hire their new coach on
You want to give
January 18th.
18th.
17th. Final answer.
That
1/17.
you're making a blind guess.
It's my gut. It's a gut feel.
Okay.
Now I need to go
Let's see.
look at when they've hired guys in the past.
Yeah. What day of the week is January 18th? Don't tell me it's a Sunday.
I won't.
All right. So maybe we'll start doing this. They won't do it on January 18th, you big dummy. That's divisional playoff games.
Well, I didn't look at a calendar, dude.
Well,
The
that's your
Titans
fault.
hired Callahan for reference on January 24th.
Okay. So we'll start doing this with candidates, and
Wait,
we'll
no,
get a
January 22nd. Excuse me, even closer to my day. Anyways,
Okay. So how serious of a candidate do you think Matt Nagy is for the Titans job on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being, yeah, this guy could absolutely, like 10 is you are confident that it's going to happen, right? 1 being not a chance. So how serious of a candidate do you think Matt Nagy is for the Titans job on a 1 through 10 scale?
so Tennessee's getting the job, not just a real
Yeah,
candidate,
10 is
but
he
getting
is
the job.
a shoe-in. He's already got it. It's just a matter of time, right?
Gotcha.
And then you can scale from there. 1 is Rex Ryan.
How dare you?
So
Untrue. Just not true. 1 is Mike McCoy,
good point.
and that's
So
real.
1.5 is Rex Ryan.
No. Rex Ryan
Where's
is
Rex Ryan on the scale?
Rex Ryan is a cool 3.9.
3.9.
Yeah, y'all were
There's
sleeping.
No
Y'all
way.
were sleeping on old Rex. Hide your toes.
All right, so gross. Why you gotta do that? You didn't,
That's
that
just
was
facts. I don't know what to tell you.
unnecessary.
Don't be mad at me. I'm not the guy that said it.
So scale 1 through 10, how legitimate is a candidate? How serious of a candidate is Matt Nagy for this Titans job? As Jeremy Fowler reports on ESPN.com yesterday, that league circles believe GM Mike Berganzi has a good relationship with Nagy. I expect him to be a candidate in Tennessee. So how serious is it? 1 through 10. To the chat you go, Easton. What are you saying?
David says a 2. Rooney says a 4.
Wow.
John says a 6. So we're all over the place. Unfortunately, a 7.5. 4.69. Nice. 4. Solid 6. 4. 3, Nagy, like Arthur Smith, is the safe school choice of your
What?
top options.
This is crazy.
Say no. I don't fully know what that means, but I think I get what you're saying. Hopefully 3, I don't want him. 4, 6.8, I think 1A is Robert Saleh, who the Titans face this weekend. Unfortunately, Malachi is at a 9 because of the connection. 6, 5, 1 to competent people, 10 to the Titans organization.
What is the problem with Matt Nagy?
Well,
I mean, look.
for starters, people hate him.
What? Like who?
I think just folks. I think folks
the
hate
public.
him.
The public.
Here, in all seriousness, people
hates
in
him?
Chicago think that he's the biggest loser on the planet.
Yeah, but
So-
look what happened after that.
I agree. I understand.
Again, I agree with what Jeremy Fowler says. His
I don't-
tenure in Chicago aged well. Yeah,
This is
it
true.
100% did.
Yes, it did.
He had a winning record in Chicago. And they fired him
I-
for Matt Eberflus. Not all Matts are created equal.
Well,
Neither are
I
the
think-
Mikes.
certainly true. I think that the primary reason Titans fans really dislike him is because they see him as a really lazy, boring, safe option with a really low ceiling. I think they see him as a low ceiling option. That what he did in Chicago, while it aged gracefully, that's relative, right? I think it went from everybody thinking this guy is a natural disaster of a coach to it wasn't that bad. But wasn't that bad isn't good. It's just like, it wasn't as bad as we thought. And then he goes back to Kansas City, where both times he's been in Kansas City, before he got the first head coaching job and after, he's been playing second or third or fourth fiddle. Like, he's not been the one doing the thing.
Well,
And
Andy Reid's always going to be the one doing the thing until he retires.
right. But even then, is Andy Reid really the one doing the thing? Because 15's out there doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's already an element of, no, this is serious. There's already an element
At
of,
this point,
we don't
yeah,
want a guy
but-
that was made by the superstar that they were with. And this is a pivot from Brian Callahan, right? Because he was the Burrow guy. He was the Matt Stafford guy, the
Yeah, but
Peyton
you
Manning guy.
have 30, you have 65 games of Matt Nagy as a head coach. A lot of it with Mitchell Trubisky. He
I
won
understand.
the coach of the year. They went to the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky.
But people want a pivot, and the pivot is to somebody that has done more with less. It's the Clint Kubiaks who are making it work with the Sam Darnolds of the world, not the
Not
guy
Matt
that's
Nagy making
not-
it work with Mitch Trubisky.
not the guy that has enjoyed success most recently with Patrick Mahomes. And you
it's
say
lazy.
make it work with Mitch Trubisky. They went to
He
the
did.
playoffs once.
Yeah. I know. Because Mitch Trubisky's not good.
To be clear, this is
Like,
devil's
they-
advocate argument on my part.
I-
This is not my opinion. I'm just sharing what people are thinking when they see this. And
I
they see many more candidates that they find sexier than Matt Nagy. That's why they
But
really dislike him. as an
Keelan
option.
says his scheme sucked. Okay, how?
What does that mean?
I don't know. How?
I from what and this it's been a while. I'd have to I will at some point refresh my memory on this.
D Red says Nagy wasn't a good head
he-
coach in Chicago, and he doesn't call plays in Kansas City. So why
That's a
wasn't
good
he a
way
good
of
head?
summarizing where I
But
think.
like,
people's
why
heads are
wasn't
at.
he a good? What made him not a good head coach in Chicago? Because
He got fired,
could not
so he must not have
sustain.
been a good head coach. That's the answer.
Oh, Mike Vrabel's a bad head coach.
I hear you. I
Again,
from what I remember of his scheme in
everything-
Chicago, it felt very hamstrung by the limitations of Mitch Trubisky. I think they were having to do a lot of things. They were playing in a phone booth from a scheme standpoint, and it was like a lot of screens and a lot of short passes and a lot of things that don't require arm talent.
Now Jack says he can't lead. Why? That's why he sucked in Chicago. Based on what? I don't know. Like
Yeah, I don't have a firm footing on that. so.
I've read that Nagy is a positive guy who created a positive culture in the Chicago locker room. And I mean, I don't know, did it work? Who knows? There's so many different variables and situations in locker rooms and year after year and all that kind of stuff. So like, again, like I think people that are hating on Matt Nagy are doing it for very lazy reasons because the
that's fair.
Bears franchise is not sustainably good.
Here's the other element of this, though, which is the predictive element of it. We're all talking about him as an option because of the people like Breer writing these things. Based on what I know and what I feel, a combination of my understanding of the situation is that these repeated connections between Nagy and the Titans and Borgonzi is not based on anything new. It really is just a C point A, C point B draw line. Like I may be wrong about that, but my understanding is that the Titans are not nobody's sharing these things. Their official short list is very unofficial. They have not gotten very far down the road on this situation beyond watching a bunch of tape on a bunch of guys, but they've gotten far down the road of looking into coaches. What I mean is they've not gotten far down the road of narrowing down that pool. They are casting a very wide net, and they have not started to rein that net in yet, is what I should say. So I think Nagy is, for these obvious reasons we keep talking about, definitely going to be a candidate. I would bet a lot of money on him getting an initial interview. But beyond that, I don't see him. And I think people are failing to look at the last hiring that this group minus Borgonzi did as evidence for what they're likely to do this time. Like, I will repeat the fact that when they hired the general manager this past winter, we all thought that John Eric Sullivan, the Green Bay executive, was a shoo-in for the job. We talked about him like this ad nauseum leading up to it. Like, of course, Brinker's going to hire his boy John Eric Sullivan. Not only did they work together, but we had far stronger evidence that Brinker and John Eric Sullivan were boys than we have of Nagy and Borgonzi being boys. Everything I've seen on that front is like speculative and just connecting that they work together. I'm sure they definitely have a relationship. I'm sure it's a relatively positive relationship, but we knew that Brinker and John Eric Sullivan were boys. So of course Brinker's going to hire him, and they didn't hire him. And the people that I've talked to since then, including Brinker, have talked about how that whole process was important to them to do what they felt was doing right by the organization long term and putting their own personal preferences, their own relationships aside. And that's not to say that Sullivan wasn't a very strong candidate for the job. My understanding is that he very nearly got the job, but Mike Borgonzi was such a ringer of a candidate that they could not deny what they were seeing with their eyes, that this guy was the right guy for the job. And I think that's exactly the same approach they're going to take in the spring. And if Nagy were to get the job, it's not going to be because of the relationship. It's not.
Okay. You want to know why Matt Nagy actually made the playoffs twice. 2 out of 4 years he was in the playoffs. He won the division once. Won the division once in his first year. That was his coach of the year campaign. And then they got in as an 8-8 team his third year, and then fired after Justin Fields' rookie season.
Right.
And so you get to the playoffs twice with Mitchell Trubisky, and then you get fired with GM Ryan Pace because Justin Fields was your rookie quarterback starter who only started that early because Andy Dalton got hurt early in that season. Like, I think you can do a lot worse. I think this is honest, because I think this matters for people.
The rest of what you said today was dishonest. This part,
no. I think what I'm about to say matters. It's going to sound so silly. I think Titans fans and other fan bases, when talking about Matt Nagy as a coaching candidate, will kind of go, ugh. His last name hurts him, Nagy. I think the way that it sounds and the fact that I'm dead serious.
I know you're serious, but I think it's funny.
Serious. I think people don't like his name. Doesn't sound good. Matt Nagy. You're gonna hire Matt Nagy? Really? Like Nagy? I seriously, there's something to that.
I have nothing to say on this
because
part.
Nobody else has anything tangible to it. It's he got fired by the Bears, and they say that he's got a bad scheme, and they can't name any reason for it. And because he's with the Chiefs, it's Nagy. You're gonna get Nagy? That's the best you can do, Nagy? That has something to do with it, I think.
What a take. I have nothing to add to that. I'm just gonna let that one sit. I'm gonna let people marinate on that.
Okay. That matters.
Okay. Trivia?
Yes, we can do trivia.
Here we go.
Let's do it. Shout out Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Make them a part of your new car buying process. You go see them in Lebanon and save some new money. It's a great time to buy a new car. That's the end of the year with WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I don't think I've done trivia with you in forever.
It's been a very long time.
All right. Are you sharing your screen?
I am. Hit it.
I'm ready. Your screen share is so much better than mine.
It take forever.
Mine does, yeah.
Mm.
Okay. I like this board.
I've seen worse boards.
We
I'm
did
always scared by this middle one.
under 350 yesterday.
Whew. It's hot.
I don't see Ann. I don't know if I've seen Ann for the most part.
Ann doesn't come in the mornings anymore.
She was here yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? She shows up exclusively on non-trivia days for some reason. So
Yesterday was a trivia day and she was here.
She was?
She helped us with Blake Lively, yeah.
Then maybe it's exclusively on Eastern.
She's
trivia
probably
days. She doesn't
like
show up.
some nursing thing to do or something.
Saving lives. All right. NFL, we ready? Lock in, chat. Yep. We need you. Here we go. What current day NFC South franchise began their history by losing 26 consecutive games?
That is the Bucks.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Interesting. This former U.S. president played college football at Michigan in the 1930s and turned down the NFL to pursue law school.
That is,
I don't know this one either.
I know it.
I mean, the time frame narrows it down.
Yeah, Ford.
Gerald Ford?
Gerald Ford, yes.
You feel good about that?
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, nice. Currently starring in Vince Gilligan's Pluribus on Apple TV, Reese Seahorn played attorney Kim Wexler on this cable drama. I started this show last night, and she was in Better Call Saul, also a Vince Gilligan show. The 1984 sex comedy, Bachelor Party, starred what two-time Academy winner? Let me start this over. The 1984 sex comedy Bachelor Party starred what two-time Academy Award-winning actor in the lead role? Crazy question. No idea.
Tom Hanks?
Sex comedy Bachelor Party? Tom Hanks? No way. Really?
Yeah, apparently.
A very young,
I have
fast and loose Tom Hanks?
Never heard of that one.
That's crazy. What rapper released the 2012 hit Work Hard, Play Harder? Work Hard, Play Hard.
Work hard, play hard.
I don't know.
Work hard, play hard.
Not my genre.
That is Black
Tom Hanks?
No, what's his freaking name?
Wiz
Khalifa. Yeah.
Sounds right. Chain restaurants founded in New Jersey in the 1960s. This sub sandwich chain has over
Jersey Mike's.
Gotta get
No. I told you to hold on.
I didn't hear hold on. You can't.
I said, hold on.
Well,
that
was a trick question, and you fooled me. You fooled me into it. Oh, well. This Purdue forward averaged 14 points per game from 2007 to 2012 and was three-time first-team All-Big Ten. Had 2 ACL tears that set back his career.
Robbie Hummel.
Robbie Hummel?
Yeah.
Robbie?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, chat. Rasheed Wallace came out of retirement to play a final season with this Eastern Conference team in 2012.
Oh, I don't know.
No idea. People think it's Penn Station or Subway. There's not the chain is Blimpie. Maybe it's Blimpie. I don't know.
Blimpie's. I think it's Blimpie. Celtics? We're getting Celtics?
That sounds like a Celtics thing. Every answer is with a question mark in the comments, which is not great.
Celtics. We're getting Celtics and Knicks. Celtics is most, yeah.
All right, we'll try Celtics. Nope.
Damn it.
Identify the 2 celebrities matched. 2 dudes. The guy is Evan Peters, I want to say.
Which guy? You said there's 2 dudes, and you just said the guy.
Yeah, the hair. The hair is Evan Peters.
I think Jeremy Piven, maybe? Maybe, I don't know.
I recognize the guy on the inside. I just don't know who it is. I don't know his name. I've definitely seen him before. I'm not sure Ann would be of great help today. She's usually the help on the girl.
This is not her lane.
That's why she didn't show up. She knew.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Diamond Phillips? Who's that? Does anybody have a guess? We can either... Not Greta Thunberg.
Okay. Justin says he can see Piven. Dave Grohl?
No, it's not. It's not Grohl. Grohl's face is older looking.
I don't think it's Piven either. We got another Grohl in Lou Diamond Phillips.
I'm sure it's not Dave Grohl. I feel very good about it not being Dave Grohl.
I don't think it's Piven.
Well, do you have a better answer? We're already
Lou Diamond
it's already
Phillips. I don't know.
cooked. Who is Lou Diamond Phillips? Let's see if
I
he's
don't
even
know.
an option.
He
is. You know what? Let's try it.
do it. Dang.
No, we don't want it. So we were right about. I was right about Evan Peters.
We got to do let's see, NBA for a double dip.
What is it,
Knicks.
All right.
Oh,
Ooh,
gross.
look at this. Look at the red on this board.
7%.
There wasn't a
makes me
single
feel-
question here that more than half the people answering got
It makes
right.
me feel better. Hold on.
Blimpy. It was Blimpy.
Okay. Go back to the percentages when you have a chance.
Okay. It was Jeremy
Oh, it
Piven.
was Jeremy Piven.
Should have gone with your gut.
Dang it. Where's
Who
the
is Jeremy
percentage?
Piven? I don't know.
Entourage. I feel good about my Robbie Hummel 22% pool.
That's pretty good.
Strong.
That was pretty good.
Dang. We would have had the 7%er then.
I know. We could have had a moral victory there like the Titans, but alas, we did not go with our gut.
Darn. All right.
That was a difficult board. I agree, Darius.
It was a tough board. And yesterday's board was pretty easy. But I actually feel like I knew
Luck of the draw.
more of those. I knew Wiz Khalifa. I knew the history one. I knew the NFL one. I knew the college basketball one. I technically knew Jeremy Piven.
You don't get credit for that one.
Yes, I do.
Didn't say it with your chest.
That was the first thing I said.
I gave you every opportunity.
I just talked myself out of it.
Yeah, so you don't get credit.
I technically knew it. All right. Like the show. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button. We'll catch you
Please.
guys later on a Friday.